I want to rant about my Toronto Raptors. Something that I know far too much and far too well is this team and how I am kind of nervous and worried about our roster going into next season, because fundamentally I believe that it is still very similar to the one of last year. In fact, it could be even worse than the one of last year. And I just don't know what we're doing, you know? Because look, we let go of Fred VanVleet. This was the right move. Fred VanVleet was not worth the contract that he got by the Houston Rockets. He got $130 million for the next 3 years. That is an average of $42 million a year. With Gary Trent Jr. opting into his player option this year, that made it much harder for us to re-sign Fred with whatever deal it would have been, $30 million. And just like the vibes were not good. Last season was not good. He had a huge slump of a year. His shooting was awful. He took way too many shots. He had the ball for too much. What else? He had so many hero shots. Our offense overall was not good. Our spacing, our shooting, our bench, awful. All awful. And like I said, the vibes. I did not enjoy watching this team. Masai Ujiri, in like the exit interview of this year, literally was like, I did not enjoy watching our team. Like, he literally said that. And I agree, because it wasn't fun. And I'm glad we didn't pay Fred, but he did have something that our team does not have, is that he was a guard. He could handle the ball. He could pass for others. He was a point guard, except he wasn't really a point guard. I'll stand by this forever. He is a shooting guard who was just put into a point guard role because nobody else on the team really could do what he does. But overall, I thought he's better as an off-ball guard, in terms of catch and shoots and whatnot. But for our team, that wasn't really an option. He had to handle the ball a lot. And Nick Nurse didn't have the most creative offense. It was the Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam 38 minutes per night show for the last 2 years. And now we let him go, which, like I said, is a good thing. However, we did not replace him for a point guard. We did not replace him. We signed Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is not starting for this team. Scotty Barnes is the point guard of our future, which worries me a bit because although I love Scotty, I love him. I think he has great potential. He had a sophomore slump last year. He was not the greatest. However, he had a great rookie year, and you eventually hit a wall, and it's not uncommon for young players to go through that. He started the season off rough, but he had his higher moments, and it was just bad vibes between the young guys and Fred and whatnot. But yeah, all signs point to the fact that this Raptors team is heavily relying on Scotty Barnes to become our point guard for the future and for next year. And while he's a great player, he's definitely a pass-first player. He's always looking for the open guy. He's always looking to create for others. And he's had high assist games and whatnot. I'm just a little worried because his handle, he's not like the shiftiest guy, whatever. I just don't know on this team how good of a true point guard he can be. I still think you need somebody who's a better ball handler than he is. I still think he's very rough in that part. He's still not that good of a mid-range shooter, a shooter in general. He doesn't give that offensive threat in that sense. So if he's going to be handling the ball a lot, which I hope so, he's going to have to do it. Like this is what we got him for, is his potential as this sort of point guard, point forward kind of role, right? And he's going to need the reps. He's going to need the reps at point guard. It's going to be ugly at some points. It's going to be great at some points. And I am optimistic with our new coach, Darko Rajkovic, I think is his name. He's been saying a lot of good things. Obviously, wait until the season starts and we actually see. But he's been saying a lot of good things about offense, ball movement, pick and rolls, all of that. Because our offense in the last 2 years under Nick, he wasn't an offensive minded coach. He didn't run a lot of sets. He didn't run a lot of creative, more than 2-man sets. So on this team, I am optimistic about that, about the ball movement with Barnes at the helm. That will be, that's what we're looking for. However, this is a lot of pressure on Scotty to come out and it's now or never. Well, it's not now or never. He's still super young and everything, whatever. But he's gonna have his low lights, like I said, in this season. But this is, he's had it in his Instagram bio, 6'9" point guard. If the best version of who he will be this point guard role. So, that's a lot of pressure because we didn't really get anybody else. We got Dennis Schroeder as a backup point guard. He will be a backup point guard. There's no way he's starting. I don't know. I'm just a bit nervous because while I think Scotty has the mindset and everything of a point guard, I just think there are offensive stuff that he needs to work on in terms of his ball handle, in terms of his shooting, and all aspects. But I'm here for it. Let's do it. This is what we're doing, right? But the other thing, we still don't have spacing. We still don't have shooting. We don't really have that. Gary Trent as a shooting guard, he had kind of a low season as well, but he can hit the three. OG, he can hit the three. Siakam, Pirtle, these guys, Siakam, he can shoot the three. He doesn't shoot that much, and he doesn't have the greatest percentage. Jakob doesn't shoot at all. So here we have 3 very questionable non-shooters in our starting lineup, which is what we had last year. Coming off the bench, Dennis Schroeder, he's not the greatest shooter. We got Boucher, Koloko, Precious, Otto Porter. Otto Porter played 7 games last year, and then he got hurt the entire year. We still have Malachi Flynn, who has barely ever played. Grady Dick, Thaddeus Young. I named one good, legit shooter, and that's Grady Dick, our rookie. So the shooting is still a problem. And this is the issue of our team, is Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam are similar players in the sense of how they score somewhat, and just like their size, their build, their weaknesses in terms of shooting and whatnot. But they're just very similar. And on this team, if we're going the young route, which we are, I think Siakam has to go, which sucks because he was really good this year. I made a video at the start of the year, MVP Pascal, because he was playing amazing. His playmaking has advanced to a level I don't think almost anybody could have predicted. He has become such a good playmaker because he's been such a scoring threat. He's been getting double teams. Out of those double teams, he's been really good reacting and making the right pass, especially with Gary Trent this last year. They had a really good connection. But yeah, just shooting is the name of the game in this NBA, and we don't have it. And it feels like Pascal is the odd one out at this point in terms of age, in terms of contract. He just seems like the best player we have that we could trade to up our team. And I think at this point, that's the direction we have to go in. There's been a lot of reports about Pascal in the trade market. The biggest one was with the Hawks. There was a lot of rumors about a Pascal Siakam to the Hawks for DeJounte Murray, and some of the younger players on the Hawks right now. I forgot their names, but I mean, DeJounte Murray just signed an extension with the Hawks, so he can't get traded for, I don't know if it's like a month or at least like 6 months. I don't know exactly what it is, but he can't get traded for a while now. And the rumors that came out were like Siakam is most likely not going to re-sign with whatever team he gets traded to, which really tanks his trade value, because why would you trade? How much stuff are you willing to give up for Siakam if he's saying I'm not going to re-sign with you and this is his last year of his contract? You know, it's not going to be that much. And I think the main part of that is that he wants the contract extension re-signed from us because we can give him more money if he makes all NBA or whatnot. And while I don't know, he's an amazing player, and I think maybe we can figure it out with him, Pirtle, Barnes, but I just don't know. Unless Darko just comes in and completely changes our offense, I don't know, hides our weaknesses, just much more ball movement, much more player movement, cutting, whatever. The ball, I remember I watched a podcast with him where he was like talking about how he doesn't want the ball to stick in your hands for more than like 2 seconds. It's always quick decisions, pass the next man, blah, 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 you know, which would be great. If that system comes in and, you know, works with our starting lineup and we find success in the half court, which we have not had in the last 2 seasons, then sure. I just don't know if a coach's system like that can be integrated so quickly as well with Barnes as the point guard. It's just a lot of question marks and a lot of stuff that you have to assume would go right for it to work. And I'm just worried about it because it doesn't seem, like I said with Scotty, the best version of him would be this point guard role where he figures out the mid-range shot, he figures out the 3-point shot, those opened up the floor for him, because now you got to defend and look out for his mid-range shot, look out for his 3-point shot, which then gives him more opportunities to drive to the rim, pass out to other players, whatever. All of that stuff. It's a lot of pressure to put on him, but you know, this is what, you know, I think he can do it, but it won't be, I don't think it's going to be the instant jump in this third year. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs still, because this team is in a mode where they should be kind of rebuilding at this point, which is why the Siakam trade stuff comes in, because I don't really see a world where Siakam and Barnes on the same team can really find the most playoff success in the future, just with the rest of the roster that we currently have. I'm not sure how those two, unless they're surrounded by all the shooting in the world, which they are obviously not, I don't know how that pairing can really work. Like I said, our bench sucks. It still sucks. We got to trade Chris Boucher. We got to trade somebody. Otto Porter. I don't know. Because it's not working out, man. We need some shot creation. That's the other really big thing on this team, is shot creation is not really there outside of Fred last year and Pascal, but even Fred was not that good at it. I mean, his percentages were just bad overall. Pascal was our best shot creator. Barnes can't really create that many advantages on ball. As a secondary playmaker role, however, when he's getting the ball in the post, whatever, people around him moving, other stuff going on, he can make those kinds of passes. We haven't really seen him create the on-ball advantages that lead to open shots, whatever. A lot of his thing is that he's just a way bigger, stronger guy. He's 6'9", he's huge, long arms, whatever, you know, he can get past these smaller guys just based on that. But in terms of on-ball creation, he hasn't really shown that much. OG Anunoby, don't get me started. He cannot dribble. He can't dribble. Gary Trent, last year, he would end up taking a lot of dumb shots Jakob. Don't even ask me about Jakob. So it's just Siakam. So, shot creation, don't off the bench. We have less than shot creation. We don't have shooting. We don't have anything. So, I don't know. We need to trade for somebody else. Grady Dick was our pick this year, 13 overall. To say I was disappointed with the pick initially would be a little bit of an understatement. However, when you look at the team that we had, drafting the best three-point shooter in college was not a bad idea. It was a good idea. However, like guys like Keontae George, Kobe Buffkin, the dream that I had of trading Siakam for Scoot Henderson, oh my God, how amazing this team would look if we traded Siakam for Scoot. Obviously, that didn't happen. Portland made the right move, trading Dame away, Dame requesting a trade. He made the right move. Dame and Pascal would have been fun just because we could have gotten their pick. I don't know how real that ever was, but if it was ever a real possibility, I'm sad it didn't happen. Okay, I'm sad it didn't happen. But there was other point guard options at our pick, and we didn't take them. We took Grady Dick, which felt like a move that could work if we kept Fred or if we didn't keep Fred, which is how it's a bigger thing with this front office in the last few years. They have been towing the line between like kind of rebuilding, retooling, but also being a playoff team, trying to be a playoff team, which in the first year with Scotty, it worked. With Fred and Pascal, it worked. Last year, it really didn't work. And now Fred walked. Siakam feels like the odd man out in terms of retooling, because currently this team is not good. I don't see this team being that much better than last year. While Fred had a lot of weaknesses, had a lot of struggles, he brought something, he had something that our team didn't have as the lone guard, main ball handler guy, and we didn't really replace him with much. We're expecting a still young, super young Scotty Barnes, only going into his third year. We're putting him into that point guard role. It will not be this perfect thing. There's going to be a lot of getting used to it. There's going to be ups and downs. We still have the same non-shooters as last year. And I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks with this team. Yeah, I'm not sure. Whatever. Thanks for listening to this rant, guys. I don't really know the point of it. The point of it is that I'm worried, and these are my concerns. Are we going to address these concerns? I think the only way we can is with a Siakam trade, because then it puts us in full-on rebuilding team identity, which I think with a new coach, whatever, new offensive system, putting Barnes at the point guard, whatever, that would be the move, trading Siakam for younger players, for a pick, whatever. However, with Siakam being unwilling to re-sign to whatever team he gets traded to, that really tanks his trade value. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Pascal gets traded I want him to, because it feels like we have to at this point for our team to actually have a super clear direction, because right now it feels like we're still the same team as last year, and I don't like that because last year sucked. But also Siakam was far and away our best player. He should have been all NBA last year, if not for, I don't know, like the second half of the season he wasn't as good. Whatever. He is that level of player. He is amazing. And I think losing him will obviously make us worse, but it will at least give a much more clearer direction for this team and put less expectations, because the expectations that we have with Pascal still on this team is going to be higher and is going to still be disappointing like last year. If we trade him, the expectations that we're a rebuilding team, we're a younger team who is trying out new stuff, we have a new coach, blah, 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 we still have holes in our game. We still have holes in our roster, but at least we have the identity of, hey, we're rebuilding. We'll get to that eventually. We'll get to fixing our bench eventually. Look at all these young guys and look how cool and all the stuff that they're doing. Look at their progress in this new system with this new coach. That's what I want to look forward to, because while that team is probably not going to win 44 games, like more than 40 games a year, at least I wouldn't be expecting that, you know? And with a team that still has Pascal, there's expectations. I don't know. Thank you guys for listening to my rant about this team. I don't know if it made any sense, but I was just trying to get back into the recording mood. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, leave me your thoughts on this team. Do I sound like a crazy person? Does any of this make sense? Please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys. Take care.